Okay, so let's talk about safety. In the 90s, the word safety used to mean only one thing: Volvo. Imagine you are in a company and you have invented a brand new solution to a problem that none of your colleagues were even thinking about. What will you do? Well, of course, you will show you to your colleagues and to the senior management like what innovation you have done, but you will try to keep the main unique innovative part that you have invented to keep it to yourself. I mean, not show the world what's happening behind the magic trick, right? But Volvo was the different kid in the class. In 1959, Volvo invented the 3-point safety belts. I mean, that you see as standard across all of the cars around you. But instead of keeping the innovation part to himself or itself, they have given it away to the world. And now any company can use it for absolutely free. But even after receiving so much love, have you just heard about a new Volvo car coming out? Or maybe as small as a new Instagram reel that you have seen about a Volvo car? I mean, of course, the answer is no, because the sales figures also depict that. From 2.5% market share in 1990 to 0.5% in 2024, and can you believe it? Volvo gave the world's its greatest safety inventions, but maybe that's the part of the problem. And now, decades later, the brand who defined safety is struggling to protect itself. And this is the story of a Volvo, how the world outgrew them. Well, to understand the whole story first, we have to go back to the generation of Volvo, how Volvo evolved. Volvo started in 1927, Gothenburg, Sweden, where roads were icy, cars were clunky, and every ride could be your last. Volvo's founders were never selling the trims, they were always selling the human part, safety. I mean, their whole company's motto can be summarized in just one line: cars are made by the people. The guiding principle behind everything we make, therefore, is and should be safety. That's not a tagline, that's a religion. And then came 1959 when Volvo's engineer Niels Bohlin invented the 3-point safety belt. And as I said in the introduction of the video, that instead of keeping it to themselves, Volvo gave it to the world. Therefore, a company literally have chosen people over profits. When was the last time you saw that? So by the late 2010, Volvo had done almost everything right. 640,000 cars were selling with a freaking margin of 6.6%, and everything looks good on paper. But outside those numbers, world was rewriting itself, and Volvo didn't have the pain this time. And then happened 2020, the huge COVID-19. COVID-19 had gave an absolute reset to our life if you think about it, and suddenly that voice commands and without touching anything, how everything can be executed. So a lot of hardware and software came into play also in the automobile industry, where Tesla was already there updating their cars overnight. Cars were not about engines anymore, they were just about filters and how you can have a more higher air quality inside your car. How can you control the car using your voice commands, not using those clingy touch panels anymore? So now the definition of a good car has already changed under the hood, and Volvo just realized that. Where Volvo's expertise were steel and airbags, Tesla's was software and autonomy. Therefore, for the first time in 90 years, Volvo's definition of safe felt outdated. And next came the emission hammer. Government started tightening CO2 emission rules, and that affected every other car manufacturer in the market. I mean, think about it. Honda Civic, the legend Honda Accord, all of them had to retire very, very silently from many of the popular markets just because making them were not any more cost effective or cost friendly. So maybe that affected Volvo's engines too, and Volvo started to think that either go electric or go extinct. Meanwhile, Volvo's crown jewel safety has stopped being exclusive as different countries are starting forming their own NCAP bodies, like the Global NCAP, Latin NCAP, and also the Bharat NCAP in 2023 gave the big shock to the world by introducing it. So basically now you don't need the Volvo badge anymore to feel safe. You just go on the internet and check what's the NCAP rating of your car. In India, once mocked for their unsafe cars on the road, Indian-born companies Tata and Mahindra started to take the safety game very, very seriously. I mean, think about a Tata and Mahindra car which does not come with a 4 or 5 star safety rating right now. So the safety game started to picked up by these two Indian giant auto manufacturers. Meanwhile, in India, you can just see those ratings on the screen of the giant YouTube videos of Global and Latin NCAP and also the Bharat NCAP. In China, Volvo's own parent company Geely started establishing the new born EV platforms. Also in developed countries like China, you have the whole charging infrastructure. You can charge them overnight. The whole thing became very, very popular. So while Volvo was modernizing their past, these companies are designing their future. If that was not enough, there comes their leadership turmoil came into play. In 2022, Volvo's longtime CEO Håkan Samuelsson stepped down. He had led the company's long-time renaissance for a long time now, but it was time for a new joiner. His replacement, Jim Rohn, was a sharp, tech-focused founder, exactly what the company needed at that point of time. Well, at least in theory. So Volvo started perfecting their car game. Rohn streamlined costs, pushed EVs, investors loved it, but people were started saying that Volvo is losing its core identity. You remember? Humanity. That human core was pushed into spreadsheets, and that led to another turmoil when an older CEO, Samuelsson, was called back. This is not a very strategic decision. When old CEO is called back again to the company, it's more of a saving rather than a strategy. It's as simple as Robert Downey Jr. coming back to play Doctor Doom in the MCU again. Well, surprisingly, MCU at its lowest. And at this point, Volvo realized the real crash is not out in the streets. It's inside their boardroom. So here is the 2030 roadmap given by Volvo. So the target is to achieve at least 50% born EV vehicles by the end of 2025. By 2030, it should go 100% born EVs, and at the end of 2040, they about to achieve a net zero. Next phase is to roll out safety as a service. Every Volvo car is a data node sharing safety alerts, road conditions, and maybe accident situations to other Volvo cars. So it's basically a digital seatbelt for the entire fleet. Updates over the air, features behind subscriptions. It's trust monetized like software. So Volvo has started to make their production as local as they can. They have set up their new factories in Bengaluru in India and also in some places of South Carolina, including the European Union region. So it's cut shipping, cut carbon, cut the crap. Now let's simplify the message. Polestar does performance, Volvo does safety, and here are 3 words that I can think of Volvo's future. Safe, sustainable, Scandinavian. So here is a SWOT reality of Volvo, what I can think of right now. So here is strengths, weakness, opportunity, and threat. You can take a look and please let me know in the comment section what do you think about Volvo's near future. And maybe please suggest any other topics in the comment section. So if we could sum up all of the things about Volvo in just a few lines, that could be Volvo gave its greatest safety invention to the world, and now it's time that it reinvents itself. And maybe safety did not die. We just stopped noticing it.